Who has banged in League of Legends? Certainly not you. Yeah, so let's go. Let me know if it's too loud or too quiet.
Valentine's Day. The time I get to talk about things which I otherwise
Who's that?
wouldn't,
Is that
such
Ash?
as the topic of today's video. Children and vegans, please avert your eyes. Bees and flowers, we've all heard about it, we know it's real, everyone's doing it.
Yubi.
And that includes fictional worlds such as Runeterra. So today we will talk about all the champions who scored
Nom nom.
and those who didn't. Of course, for the vast majority of them, we won't have actual proofs. Just a lot of hints, though some of them straight up confirm it. With that said, remember, of course, everyone can have side relationships that don't have to appear in the story. But that won't prevent us from talking about it anyway. So without
I'm a
further
little
ado,
concerned
let's have a look at some of the
that he's talking about who's banged and he keeps showing Yumi.
notable physical interactions of our champions. Starting with an easy one, there is Ahri. We all know that Ahri had a lover. Of course, Ahri also has a hunger for souls, and so it's safe to say her lover didn't last long.
Oh no!
Later in the Ruined King game,
Oh
this might be a
yes!
minor spoiler, Ahri and Yasuo fell in love with each other.
That's
but
a
their relationship
spoiler!
didn't have time to get physical.
Oh damn! I didn't get that far in the game. I just go to the bit where they start hanging out with each other. I didn't know they fall in love. Ahri and Yasuo. Oh my god!
As Yasuo decided to travel to Noxus. We'll see if Ahri follows him. Another notable champion in the opposite direction is Aphelios, who most likely has never scored. He was recognized as the chosen of the moon from a really early age. He spent the vast majority of his time training with weapons. And when he mastered them all, his sister Elune passed into the spirit realm. And from
that's
there,
his sister.
Aphelios' own sister is constantly watching over him. Good luck, Aphelios. Then there is Ashe and Tryndamere.
Wait, I thought he was listing off champions who have definitely banged. So why is he talking about Aphelios and his sister? And those who oh, okay, so he's saying Aphelios is definitely not banged anyone because his sister is always there. I mean, can't you just just close her eyes?
Their relationship started as political, so they hardly ever touched each other. It was to make the barbarians a blood-sworn ally of the Avarosans. However, Ashe's bio mentions at the very end that from this political arrangement, their romantic relationship blossomed. So while we don't have a story that would directly confirm their physical relationship,
Ashe and Tryndamere.
sooner or later, it's happening. Azir is a father. The day he died, his family watched his ascension. There
Fathers
was his
have had
shy
sex.
daughter, his proud son who was on the brink of becoming a man, and his wife, Heavy, with another child. Azir is a certified banger. Before Brand became Brand and he was known as Skagan Road, back in Raigan's Reach, he fell in love with a girl called Svanna. But she was promised to another, and she wasn't allowed anywhere near Kagan because he was the son of a witch. As a result, after his mother died, he burned down the village, essentially exiling himself, and that's where he, alone, met Rise and he was turned into Brand. Brand is a certified not-banger. Braum is a mystery, but during the Ruined King game, he almost scored with Illaoi. Literally, if he didn't get seasick the moment Illaoi asked him, the two would have been officially shipped.
And I suppose we are having a moment now?
Yes. One we could have below deck.
Oh my goodness!
Yes. Brom would love to continue discussing the Buru religion. Oh, please excuse me.
No! Rowham!
Man is strange. I like it.
Caitlyn and Vi are an interesting one. Arcane is not canon in the core universe, but Arcane does borrow from the core universe. So since Caitlyn and Vi have feelings for each other there, they extremely likely do so in the core universe too. And since in the present days of the core universe, they have been together for about 8 years, the chances are, yep, they are bangers.
Nice.
Darius is a banger, Chad. You can
What?
almost watch him go at it in his comic. Not to mention that right before his former
I didn't know. We can listen and I will watch. Do you want me to read out the comic for you? You're quiet today. What's wrong? Nothing. It doesn't matter. Why won't you tell me? Because I want to hold on to this moment. Because when we march off to opposite ends of the empire, I want this memory to be a good one. And they're just like lying next to each other. They're not doing anything naughty.
mentioned that right
There you
before
go.
his former partner died, it was teased that she was pregnant. So not only did Darius almost become a father, but you can't get any more accurate clues from this. Well, you can, but we'll get to that. Leona and Diana. In case you missed it, in the recent Rise With Me story, they kissed. But during that story, they were quite young, so I don't really think anything more came out of that. And soon after, the two parted ways and somewhat tragically became husbands. So they didn't really have time to get more physical despite their love for each other. Despite Draven being Draven, or maybe because Draven is Draven. Funnily enough, he is so affected by himself that his story never mentioned him being in contact with anyone else, despite his charming personality. Even though Lady Elise was part of a political marriage, she and her husband Berhold get physical because it was mentioned that in their relationship, Elise was the dominant one. Evelyn! She never banged anyone.
What?
She always teases you before she rips your face off.
Aww.
Ezreal! Need I say anything? He's young, secretly insecure, and we still don't know if he and Lux ever met. The point of Fiora's story is that her
Wait, him
family
and
tried to
Lux?
arrange her marriage many times. The last time it happened, they tried to get her into a branch of the Crown Guard family. But during the ceremony, she stood up and said that she would sooner die than allow someone else to decide the course of her life. That's where all her romances stopped.
Wow.
Gangplank was Ilawi's lover. They had a passionate relationship before Ilawi had to fulfill her duties to Nagake Boros, and before Gangplank blew up. So the two
He
are
blew
certified
up?
bangers. Also, you can find a representation of their relationship in the Ruined King Collector's Edition. Garen and Katarina. Over the last few years, the part where the two met on a battlefield was slowly shoved under the rug. So currently, we don't know if they ever met, let alone if they formed a relationship. Riot is definitely going to come back to this in the future. Jarvan never found the right bride. Since Garen is his best friend, the Crown Guard family planned to set up Jarvan's marriage with Lux, because that way Lux would stay protected. None would dare to accuse her of being a mage if she was the royal queen. That plan crumbled when the Mage Rebellion started, but Jarvan and Lux almost became a thing.
Oh?
During the story where Ikathia once stood,
Almost.
Sidejack Scullyring's Koari Ikathun, simply known as Jax, immediately recognized the interest of a fellow soldier in a green-eyed lady, making it seem like Jax is somewhat experienced in after-war short-term relationships. In the core universe, Jago Medarda is the leader of the Medarda clan.
I'm confused.
Mel is currently not a thing. Sorry, Jace. I don't think Jin would be interested in physical relationships. He enjoys brutally dissecting people way too much for that. I have nothing to say about Jinx. Believe
I
it or
volunteer.
Not, but in the present days, she might be almost 30. So, I don't know. Maybe. When it comes to Kalista, everyone knows about Ledros, but the two likely never got physical.
Do I?
In the Echoes Left Behind story, it was confirmed that Ledros once tried to offer his hand, but Kalista refused, because, and I quote, Ledros never could give her what she wanted. And so, preferring to stay loyal to her duties as Viego's royal guard, Kalista decided to stay alone. Karthus willingly came to the Shadow Isles, simply because death fascinated him, as a very, very young man. That's pretty much when his physical form disappeared. So Karthus is a certified not banger.
Not banger.
Kassadin is a father. Need I say more? When it comes to Kane, his bio never mentions anything. However, in the comic, Akali admitted she liked his abs. She even called him hot.
Oh!
Crazy. But that's the most
Well.
romantic thing that likely ever happened to him.
Aww.
Just remember, in the present days, Kane is actually 24.
Do you think... Never mind.
So,
I'll
who
check
knows?
myself later.
Lucian and Senna may be a bit kinky. There is a story where Lucian hints at firing his gun with his PP. Remember, the Sentinel guns don't have a trigger.
Oh,
so Senna
yeah.
told him, and I quote, "It requires focus. You need to will it to fire with every fiber of your being." To which Lucian answered, "Every fiber of my being." Yep, regardless, they are certified. Despite Sarah Fortune's appearance, she doesn't like to let her guard down and let people get close, most likely because of what happened in the past. But even in the comics, she often flirted with people, which, on the same topic, in that comic we literally caught a
Knock next time? Was he having a wank?
kiss. Anyway, she flirts with people to gain power, but it never goes beyond that. So, who knows? Even though Nico finds Nidalee interesting because of her shape-shifting nature, I don't think the Vastaishai Ray reproduce in the way you think. Even though his best friend got married, Atreus seemingly stayed alone his entire life. Rakan and Zaya are a thing. Don't ask me about laying eggs though. Even though it's confirmed that Rel is into the strong types of both genders, nothing was ever mentioned in her bio. Samira likes to mention whom she is and isn't into. She seemingly has some experience. Shen and Zed have a funny relationship.
What is she like? Why didn't you say? Who is she into? Do I have a child?
Shen and Zed have a funny relationship twist. Not between each other, but with another woman. Shen was engaged with her, but in secret she was in relationship with Zed. And to top it all off, many years later, after she got married to a high Ionian family, she cheated on her new husband with her butler, who was a Vastaya. Somehow, her husband never found it weird that one of their kids had a lot better magical affinity than the other. When it comes to Shyvana, although it was teased that Jarvan fell in love with her, none of their stories ever mentioned that they would be in a relationship. While in Arcane it was confirmed that Singed has a daughter, in the core universe, that was never mentioned. Silas spent the vast majority of his life in prison. He got imprisoned when he was like 10 years old. I don't think he ever had the chance, despite it being, a prison. It was pretty much confirmed that Udyr is Sejuani's lost mysterious father. So, since we know who Sejuani's mother is, he is officially entitled to your mum jokes.
Who's
While
Sejuani's
Varys
mom?
is a Darkin, which means that he had plenty of time to get some experience, his current body is essentially 2.5 men, with the other 2 men called Valmar and Kai being lovers. Viego is Viego, what can I say? And lastly, despite being ancient at this point, Zerath was a slave his entire life. He simply wasn't allowed, so he's a certified not banger. And that was all the notable champions. However, some of you may have noticed that I purposefully skipped one champion. Because
I didn't.
I know, you know, and we don't have to spread it further. So don't even think about it.
What do you mean? Who?
Further. So don't even think about it.
I don't know. What do you mean? I can imagine Aphelios' sister coaching. Ah! What is wrong with you? Oh, maybe it's Bard. Riven and Zack became a ship just because Zack was in Bunny Riven's skin. Is that it? Is that what he's talking about? So I guess the moral of this video is all dads and all mums have banged. Disgusting. I know, right? Your father is a certified banger. So is yours. So is your granny. Moving on.